What up, people? Rory Lutz here, aka Funny Vegan Dude. We do exist. I usually post stand up comedy clips and me being stupid and telling jokes, but there's another part of my life that I kind of want to start sharing with people. My mental health journey, so to speak. Uh, People who know me to be very abrasive, and they know me to be a roast guy. And I use the word abrasive, but the people who really know me know that there's a deeper aspect to me. Um, Very caring, very thoughtful. But I've been in therapy for 3 years now, and I'm starting to understand some things about why I acted the way I acted in places like my marriage and certain friendships and other relationships. But I consider myself lucky because I've gotten to the point now where I feel like the work I've done might be able to help some people. And I know we live in America and it's very difficult to get access to healthcare sometimes. And there is a stigma with men as far as mental illness, to keep it inside for many different reasons. You know what I mean? Like, there's just so many different reasons. And this is like my first video to what I'm imagining is going to be a very long series of videos. So you guys can see my progress as I go along, but I can share things as they happen with you guys. And like I said, I'm nothing special. I consider myself to be an average Joe, regular dude in New York City. I'm a construction worker. I'm a local 3 electrician. Um, I'm 48 now. I've had like so many jobs. I've been working since I'm 13 years old. We'll get into that at some point. My childhood, my parents were like, either you work or you go to school. And school kind of always bored me. So I fucking got my GED pretty early. I think I was like 15 years old. And I had full-time jobs by the time I was 16, 17. Minimum wage back then was $7 an hour. I think it's like $8.50 now, 20 something years later, right? But I watched the video earlier. It was about a kid outside of school, and he was selling candy, to raise money for the school, and whoever got the most money got like a Detroit Pistons jersey. He was in Detroit, but the kid was out there being super sweet, but like he was in a foster home. Like he just casually dropped that he was in a foster home, group home. And that struck me like in my heart because like I'm a group home kid. I'm a former group home kid. Like my dad, when I was 13 years old, like he woke me up on April Fool's Day. I want to say, I think it was 1990 or it was 1991, and he woke me up and he said, he said some foul language. He said, "I've had enough of your shit," and he took me to family court and he dropped me off at family court. And I proceed to be in a group home. I don't remember large portions of my childhood, and I'm also, as I research and I look into things, that's a thing that happens to kids. They just forget stuff. They just, there's no room for it. And we'll get into at some point how the work I've done has released a lot of the stresses that don't allow for memory or thoughts. So now I'm thinking clearly and the days are longer and it's really nice. But and the problem with the group home was like my parents were in pretty bad shape, so my mother wasn't able to take me in. But she was able to sober up enough and for long enough to get me out of there. I wasn't there for years. Maybe I was there, I don't know, months, I guess. Long enough to like subconsciously really fuck me up though. But I had normalized it. Like this was one of the first things I had spoken to my therapist about. This was like how it just wasn't like a group home. It was just like Tuesday. It was just like another case of abandonment. where I was just left, abandoned. Like I was just, that was what my life was when I was a kid. It was like I go live with my mom, live with my dad, live with my grandmother, live with my other grandmother, live with my great grandmother, live with my aunt, just all over the place. And there was just no stability. And I want to talk about all of this stuff down the line. I can't get it into the first message, and I tend to, because I have ADHD, obviously. I tend to ramble, so I don't want to ramble too much. But I just want, like, even the old corny shit, right? Even if you help one person, your job is done, you know? Like, you did a good job. So I'm looking to just help anyone who could possibly learn from the stuff that I've learned. Like I said, I got divorced. I have a 10-year-old son. He's a sweet kid. His mother's a great mother. And I look back now, and I was a terrible husband. You know, like I was a terrible husband. And that's hard to deal with. But at the same time, like it is what it is. Like I can acknowledge that I was not the best husband. I wanted to be, and I thought that I was, and I loved my wife. But my conflict resolution just wasn't what I thought it was. They say fight or flight, and I was always fight, because that's what I did. I fought for things. That's what I knew. And then I just always assumed she thought the same way, and it's like 4 or 5 years later, I just fucking, I'm like, oh, oops, you know, like, damn, fuck that one up, man. She was great, you know? And I used to always think that, like, going back to try to fix things, it would be an argument that we had. I would be like, if I could go back in time and fix my marriage, it would be here. When we argued about this, I used to think it would be me. She used to say, please hold my hands. And I would be like, the last thing I want to do right now is hold anyone's hands. Ah. Which sucks, because, like, that's what she wanted. That was what she needed. But I only understood what I needed. That's, like, that was difficult to wrap my head around. Because it was like, now it seems so simple. If I could have just held her hand, maybe things would have been easier after those arguments. But I didn't. But I used to think it would be an argument. But I remember back to my 40th birthday party. She threw me a surprise birthday party. And it was a lot of her work friends were there. And I don't know, it was one of those, none of my friends really showed up, which was weird and a little difficult to deal with. I'm 48 now. It was 8 years ago. But my wife was like, "What do you want for your birthday?" And I'd given her a list of things that I would like to have. You know, some hand tools. I'm a construction worker. Some hand tools. I love comic books, as you can see. Batman back there. I like art and T-shirts, right? But I had given it. But one of them was this Joker painting. It was like a 16 by 20 Joker painting. And that was one of the things. It was like $200. You know, I was like, if she gets me that, that's fucking awesome. You know. So I'm opening the presents. You know. And there it is, a box. It's about 16 by 20. I'm amped up. I'm excited because I love the Joker. I love comic books. It's like one of my favorite things to do. Even though DC has fucked up every movie for the last fucking 10 years and Marvel is on a fucking steep downhill slide right now. Hopefully Thunderbolts will fucking pick us back up. I don't know how they're going to be wrestling with the Sentry, dude. Sentry's legit. But there was this box. I saved it for the end. And I opened it. And I'm 100% sure this is the Joker painting. I couldn't be happier at this point, right? It's my 40th birthday party, surprise party. Everyone's having fun. My kids, my son is there, you know. I think he's 1 year old at this point. Maybe he's 2. He's got a big fucking dome like his mom, right? Big, beautiful, round head. He got no hair. It's like a fucking... He looked like one of the baby vultures from the old Looney Tune cartoons. I love that little shit. Well, we got to this box, and I'm opening this box, and I'm already super happy. It's like I got what I wanted, but it wasn't what I wanted. Like, bro, it was so much better. It was so much better. We were looking for an apartment, and at some point we were sitting in someone's living room interviewing with the co-op board for an apartment that we were looking at probably a year earlier than my 40th birthday. So probably I was 39. They had this amazing Wonder Woman mosaic tile piece on the wall. 20 by 24. It was pretty big. It was nice. It was so nice, and it was so well done. The mosaics were half inch by half inch, size of your fingernail. Not my fingernails. I don't have any, but you guys have fingernails. And it was just beautiful. And I had spoken to the owner of this apartment and painting for about 20 minutes about how awesome it was. And we were speaking about the artist, and we were speaking about comic books and Wonder Woman and all types of shit. And we had a really nice conversation, me and the woman. And my wife is talking to someone else for fucking a while. Now, we don't get that apartment. And then we go home. And it's just, we're home. It was our life. We continue with our life. Fast forward to my 40th birthday party. I open up this beautiful mosaic Superman tile piece. From the same artist. I left out that Wonder Woman painting was $10,000, guys. It was one of those moments in my life where, as a construction worker, former group home gutter kid, I was like, I'll never have that. That's the vibe of the conversation I'm having with her. Is like, I love this so much, but will never have this. Like, where could I ever fucking have this? Where could the fuck could I find $10,000 to spend on this? I got fucking parlays to put in. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm fucking holding it. With two hands. Guys, I've been fucking paying attention to shit since I'm fucking 7 years old. Like, really keyed in to paying attention and not allowing things to surprise me. I'm really tough to surprise. My wife had tried to surprise me with tickets to a Larry Bird, Magic Johnson play a year earlier, and just watching the commercial, I fucking really... I mean, it's impossible to surprise me, but here I am, speechless, like, at a total fucking loss for words. I can't even process how I feel. And that's what I want to speak to you about right now, is like, I used to think it would be that this moment I would go back to where we fought to try and fix that moment. But you can't fix those moments. You're going to fight. As in a relationship, a boyfriend, girlfriend, you're going to fight. But if you're in a relationship as a husband and a wife and you have a child, you're going to fight. You're going to have arguments. You can't avoid those moments. But what I've come to realize is the moment I'd go back to is that moment where I was holding this fucking dream in my hands that I still have. I hold on to that piece of art like I'm holding on to my marriage. I didn't for like the first few years. I just loved it. But recently, I've through the work of therapy and being honest with myself and like really fucking hammering away at the whys of what you've done, that's the moment. And I'll tell you why. I realized that the effort my wife, ex-wife, had put into paying for it, keeping it a secret, paying attention to the conversation I had with the other lady, never saying a fucking word about it. The realization that I wasn't able to accept or understand how much, not just love, but how much this woman loved me. Like, I've come to understand, if you had to use a different word to describe love, the closest you could get is effort. I do believe effort weighs more than anything, followed very closely by trust. But she fucking hit this home run. Like, it was the perfect gift from the perfect person in the perfect moment. And I was just like, I was so happy. Understand, guys, like, I was just so grateful. No, I wasn't grateful. That's the point. Like, I was happy that I had gotten what I wanted. And that was my level of understanding of that happiness. I wasn't able to understand how much I was loved in that moment. And it's the only thing that I had ever wanted in my whole life was, I was holding it. But I wasn't holding a mosaic tile piece. I was holding my wife's heart. I had everything I wanted. Everyone was happy. I should have been happier than anyone. But I wasn't. I mean, it was a good day. We had a good day, but if I could go back to that moment now, I would cherish that woman. I would never stop loving that woman. And I say that now because I realize I have never stopped loving that woman. Will I? I don't know. Everything got kind of crazy after that. And divorces are really hard. Some people say things and do things for reasons you can't understand. But then years later you understand. You fucking understand restraining orders and orders of protection. It's not that you were dangerous. Like, I was never dangerous. She understood that. But sometimes people understand that you are not capable of doing what's supposed to be done. I would have fought, I would have yelled, I would have screamed. But she knew. Like, I play poker. Like, I play poker pretty well. At some point, I played a little professionally. I have some World Series of poker. I have a cash under my belt. I used to go all the time. I've won tournaments, all types of shit. Poker is a really good metaphor for life because there's a lot of decision making. There's risk to reward there. She folded the worst hand. She folded a losing hand. I was so mad. I was so confused. But after evaluating myself for years now, with the help of a medical professional, I understand it now. Like I do. And it's something that I was going to use the word struggling with, but I'm getting closer to understanding it and accepting it. But that's the moment, man. Like, I would go back to what should have been my happiest moment and understand that in that moment I had everything I wanted, but I didn't know what it was. Because I had never felt love before. I didn't love myself. I didn't know how to love myself. I didn't have a dad growing up. I didn't learn these things. My mother didn't teach me how to be nurturing and caring. She taught me how to cheat on my taxes. My fucking dad's teaching me how to bet every fucking horse in a race, so at least you get a winner. So I know this is the first video and it was a little deep, it was a little intense, but it's maybe I related with some people, and maybe some people are eager to hear what else I have to say. I'll be all over the place for a little while, but I think that's part of what people like me deal with, is wrangling thoughts together and trying to piece together puzzles. And again, like, I'm just a regular guy, man. Lucky enough, like, I'm so grateful that I have this brain that was able to say, hey, man, you know what? You aren't fucking perfect. And you might be wrong here. I wanted to be happier, and I'm actively trying to be happier, and I gotta tell you, it's so much work. It's so hard. It's so hard, dude. Like, I used to be the type of guy who would say, like, go fuck yourself, like, 100 times a day. And, like, now I'm down to, like, 85 times a day, which is progress, you know? But I'm going to be vulnerable with you guys. I mean, I was kind of vulnerable right now. I want to be open with you guys. And I'm a grown-ass man, dude, who cries sometimes. Sitting on the Hudson River by the little red fucking lighthouse, you know? On some bedrock, crying. But I'm not sad when I cry anymore. Like, I'm, like, relieved. Well, anyway, I'm gonna go pick up my kid, and I'm gonna fucking hug him and kiss him and feed him. That gets expensive. But I don't know how this is going to work out. I look forward. If you guys want to talk shit in the comments, feel free. Come find me on Instagram. I'm Funny Vegan Dude. I'm trying to be a fucking friendlier, loving person. And if you want to join the journey with me, maybe we can learn some stuff together. And if not, fuck it, man. We're going to wake up tomorrow. Sun's going to shine. We might laugh. We might cry. But we're going to do it. Because there's no other option to do it.